get myself a nice cup of coffee. I'm barely awake right now, so I'm trying to liven it up. Let's go ahead and start posting our stream link. Oh, I was like, why is that? Why is that what we're looking at? Alright, let's see here. Where was our last post? Let's copy that. Let's create a post. Take that. Let's get our stream link. Let's copy that. Alright. Alright. So we got that posted. Alright. Okay, let's go to Facebook. What do we got here? Yada yada yada. Alright, let's make a post. Alright, let's share this also on our Discord and not forget that again. Let all the homies know that we're streaming. Alright, we'll drop that. Drop everyone. Okay, share, publish that. Draw something in the quantum chat. Alright. Alright, folks. Let's see here. Let's open up our project file that we're working on. Let's get that opened up on screen. Ooh. This cup does feel nice and warm. Alright, let's take a quick look at... Alright, so give me a minute here to get some coffee in me. Oh yeah, that's good. That's real good. Mm. Nice. Alright, so let's take our little banner down. Mm. So good. Alright, so yesterday when we left off, we started to look at the hand. We were kind of in here, we had a mask in here, and we were just kind of playing around with the hands, fingers, trying to get everything appropriately in the right spot. And so that's where we're gonna pick back up as I slowly rejuvenate myself by drinking a couple sips of coffee as I move along here. Alright, so what we're gonna do here is I'm gonna hide some of this just because we don't need it. We don't need to see it right now. Let's see if we can go to sculpt mode. Let's just hide some stuff. Mm. It's hitting the spot, I'll tell you that much. Alright, so we're gonna hide as much as we can just to make it easier when we kind of pan around the hand, not to get clipped by other pieces of geometry. So we'll just hide all this stuff that is not pertinent to what we're working on. And yeah, we'll leave it right there. That's pretty good. I mean, I guess we could trim right to the arm like that. Okay. So now we just have the hand that we're working on. Okay. So first things first, I'm gonna clear this mask. We're gonna clear this mask and I mean, this one finger is just fat as hell. And I think the best way to start to address this maybe is to just hide everything and go in here and kind of take a look at what can we do here. Um, I was thinking about this. I was like, should I just start that hand over from scratch? I'm not sure. Not exactly sure what I want to do here. I guess. Let me see here. How do I want to address this? I was like, I could erase everything, get rid of the fingers, and just redo the fingers from scratch. Because we do have a lot of issues. Um, yeah, I'm not sure about the best way about trying to fix this at this point. Um, I really don't want to start over from scratch on this. I kind of just want to figure it out and use what we have and wrap this up. But yeah, I mean this one's a little bit difficult because this shape is kind of messed up, to be real honest. So I think what I'm gonna do is this one finger is just totally ridiculous. I really didn't want to do this, but it is what it is. What we're gonna do is we're gonna basically erase a lot of what we're looking at here, mostly because I don't have an effective way to fix this per se. It'll probably just be easier for me to recreate this from scratch than to try to deal with some meshes that are too close to each other and the volumes are incorrect, the anatomy's incorrect, and I mean, this is my fault. I think I kind of just lost control of the geometry over time, but hey, you know, it is what it is. If you did it once, you can do it twice, so let's just bring this back to just, let's call it like the base shape of the hand, and then from there we'll add fingers back to it. We'll kind of fix that shape up, and then we'll add the fingers, we'll add the thumb. But for now, what we're going to do is just bring this back to a very standard looking main portion of a hand, I guess you can call it. I don't even know there should be like I should know, you know, what is a hand without fingers called? A little shaped ball of meat. I don't know. But that coffee definitely hit the spot, I'll tell you that much. Definitely hit the spot. Okay. And then what we'll do is we'll add primitives. We can get to like a primitive initial step of what a hand looks like. And let's shape everything nice and get ourselves ready to model in some spheres and some boxes and reshape the fingers and the knuckles and all the various segments of the finger. And we'll position that around the paintbrush really good. And then, yeah, that's what we're gonna do. So let's keep smoothing this down and get this into like a big lump of fingers. And then we'll look at the shape, make some modification to it, smooth it out nicely. And before you know it, we're well on our way to turning this back into a more accurate hand without some of the issues that we were encountering. So, just bear with me here. Let's work this down. Okay, let's take a look at this from Alright, let's just keep working that. Nice, nice. Let's take a look at this. You know what? I was thinking I should reach out to somebody or start scheduling days for people to work the Rare Evo booth with me. I need to I need to make sure I'm entertained. I'm not the only one there. I drive myself insane. I gotta rope people in and sucker them into spending the day with me at the convention, and then rotate it out so I don't get bored of them. uh, it's like who's got Tuesday, who's got Wednesday, who's got Thursday, who's got Friday, just in case I need to disappear for a couple of minutes and take a mental break from being bombarded. So yeah, yeah. I did work a little bit during my break time, my lunch break at work today. I did work a little bit more on the Rare Evo booth idea that I have together, and yeah, I do have to order that this weekend. But the idea is coming together pretty nicely. I think it's gonna look pretty good. We'll figure out how we're gonna format everything and get that out to the company and place the order this weekend. Um, and once that's done, that'll be good. Yeah, that'll be cool. Let's see here. Smooth, 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 smooth. Let's check the stream in a second, see if anybody popped in. Hey, somebody showed up. What's going on? Alright, so, okay. So, the way I'm used to, whether it's correct or not, of drawing hands is I'm used to making kind of an arched ball, right? Where the hand is kind of arched like so. That's what I've started to learn how to make hands like, and that's what I've stuck to. I'm not saying I'm great at it, it's just how I do it. Okay, let's see if we can add a little bit of material here. Smooth that out. this hand needs quite a bit of work here. And the way I like to look at this is it's kind of not like a heart shape, but there's like two sides of the hand that are raised, and the center has kind of a recessed area into it, right? If you like kind of look at your hand, you kind of have like some meaty parts. You have like a left side, a right side, and underneath your fingers you have like these little pads, right? So you kind of have like the left and the right. And I would say the right side, or the side that I'm working on right now, is a smaller side. And this side kind of has this shape, like this, right? And this kind of has just a small minor shape like this. If we smooth that all out, we get a little bit of texture like that, you know? Get a little bit of some muscle, some mass, something. And then it kind of stops, right? Like we have our little, I guess like our wrist, you know? You have something like that, right? So now we got this rough shape here, so now we're going to go back into our full scene mode, and we're going to say, I want to actually kind of feel like this can come down quite a bit. I'm not sure if this is just, either one side has to come down, or one side has to come up, and I'm going to say, let's push this like that a little bit. Let's kind of come in here and alright, and then now what I kind of want to do is we're going to come in here and we're going to add some spheres. And we're going to work with spheres in order to create basically the knuckles, or everywhere where the bone attaches, right? You have like a bone in a socket, and those are very unique pieces of geometry that we want to make sure we have representation for, right? So, yeah, we got something like this. Okay, rotate it this way, and let's grab it, move it like that, and then we got another one, and another one, like that. And obviously that doesn't fit, so we're gonna grab all that, we're gonna scale it a little bit down, scale it a little bit down. I think that should be pretty good like that. We are gonna have a little bit of overlap to get everything right where we want it. And realistically, we will eventually break those off into separate shapes so we can form all the fingers. But basically, we got something like this. Clearly, we got some room to adjust some stuff around like that. Maybe see if we can go like that and like that. Okay. And that kind of gives us something to look at, right? And what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually duplicate those, and then I'm going to duplicate those again. Actually, you know what's pretty cool? Yeah, we'll do that, and then we'll scale that. And so now we kind of have these spheres, and we'll add one for the thumb and we'll kind of work on that after, but we have, you know, a thumb area right there. What we're going to do is we're going to take this, that, that, and we're going to separate it into its own. Um, and then we're going to use some cylinders to connect everything. So we got balls and cylinders, and that actually, in my opinion, does a really good job of getting you exactly where you need to be. And I don't really think you honestly ever need too much more than that to get a cartoony hand. It's kind of a classic method of producing simple anatomy, right? Just using like cylinders and balls and stuff like that. I'll hide that for now. Try to put that like so. It's kind of stubby and short. So let's see if we can do something about that. What I'm going to do real quick is just kind of hide everything and align everything real quick, and then I'll come back and bring it back. Just a couple things that are just all right. So we're gonna start our little linkage, and it should work out pretty good. It doesn't have to be super accurate at this phase, because all we're trying to do is create the rough guideline for our finger, and then from there we're able to make modifications. But you see how we got our rough finger there, and that actually kind of looks pretty good. You know, we can come here to this ball and then go here, and we'll go cursor to selected, and then we can pivot from the 3D cursor, and we got like this finger mechanic here where we can twist our finger and move it around, right? Get it in the right spot, make all our necessary changes, work things around. So we got that. All right. Obviously, these fingers are supposed to be all slightly different in size. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to see if we can just use this to let's take L, 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 cursor to selected. And we can kind of see some of the issues that I think I was seeing but couldn't really express properly with how things were originally. You know, I could tell that there was something wrong, and I didn't know what it was until I kind of dissected this whole thing and tore it apart, and I was like, oh yeah, there's definitely something hugely wrong with how, and obviously we can open up the fingers and whatnot, but there was a huge issue about how this was positioned, and it didn't make sense, and I just couldn't um, put two and two together. So I kind of feel like the hand shape like this, I'm feeling like I'm making like kind of the gesture in my hand right now just to kind of look at it. And let me see here, let me undo this. Okay, and then I feel like the fingers should be coming like straight down. So as soon as these, come on. As soon as the fingers come out of the hand, they should be coming kind of straight down like that at a very steep angle. Try to hide everything that I don't need again. I kind of feel like the thumb, if we had a thumb, that thumb is kind of like pivotal. You know, it's like the main thing that we have to have is a thumb in order to hold on to something, because it kind of comes and clenches over that finger, right? But where does that, let me see here if I can, let's see if we can get this where we need it first. Let's call it, man, this is really, alright, and let's take this part, and I feel like this part should be very small on the thumb, right? Because our thumb is kind of not as long. The top linkage is like shorter. The top linkage. I don't even know what the heck I'm talking about. The top part of your thumb is kind of small compared to your fingers, right? And this doesn't have to be perfect right now. We're just trying to visualize things and make adjustments, and then we'll start kind of blending and sculpting all these components together. But for sure, like it needs to be like that, where that thumb is kind of going over the finger, holding it down. And now I think we can kind of play with some of these proportions here. I kind of feel like something like that. obviously our pinky needs to be our smallest finger. So we can do something like that. Okay, good. And then our fingers need to be holding that down like that. Okay. And so in like that, I think that looks a lot more realistic. We may have some other scenarios to address here, like whether that should be in more like that. And then I kind of feel like these should be up here. And these balls, the balls should be, yeah, like that. Alright, just about like that. Take that. L. Man, this L command, like, what the heck, man? They gotta do a better job with this L command. Like, I feel like it only works half the time. Okay. Push that out further. Take that. No, take that. Scale that up a little bit. Okay. See, I think that is much better than what we had. I mean, now we have to do quite a bit of work to get everything where it's supposed to go. But, do that, that. Um, I want to make some small adjustments to make sure that the fingers are kind of correct. See if I can. Yeah, I feel like that looks pretty good, pretty decent. I mean, it looks more natural now. Let's see if we can take advantage of where we're at now, and I think we need a little bit more material of this. This right here needs to be a little bit more meaty. All right. Let's see there. Same here. And then we also, now that we have this thumb here, the thumb kind of comes way out. We'll probably sculpt that thumb in first, because I feel like the thumb is like, let's see here. Oh, come on. Fucking. Let's see here. Can we. Alright, let's see if we can take this, go into sculpt mode, Control R, or Shift R. Oh my god, sculpt mode, R. Where do we want this? probably right around 2. That's fine. Okay, so that gives us our remeshed finger there. And let's kind of go to our smooth tool and come down on our hardness a little bit. I don't want to be too aggressive on this and blow out a lot of the shape too quick. Right, we kind of just want to blend it a little bit, but not go overboard. Okay, so now um, and we'll kind of leave it basically like this. Like we know we need to add this to the hand and blend it in, but we got a nice good uh, realistic thumb, right? It's a little big, but it's fine. The question now is, do we want to not cheat, but close in that gap right there? And this is more like optimization for a 3D print, where I kind of like know that I don't want that gap there because it's going to be harder to paint, it's going to be weird. So can we, do something to fill in that gap? So making that brush thicker helped. And then can we do that? Is that possible? That's not bad. All right, that's not bad at all. And that helps make this nice and strong. You don't want like these avoidable weak spots. I mean, it doesn't really make sense that you would deliberately create a void that's going to be difficult. You're going to have to clean and sand in there to get it smooth, and it just doesn't make a whole lot of sense. Just do what you can there to kind of smooth it out. I like how it's a little bit thicker too. Yeah, that looks pretty good. All right. And let's grab our, we went to like 0.2 or something like that. Oh, point two. There we go. Let's go to our smooth brush again, kind of blend that together. Uh, Not bad. Same here. Go into our sculpt, hit R. Let's set this to 0.2 again, just like all the other fingers that we've done already. Control R, smooth, and let's blend that in real nice. And let's take the G tool, or grab tool, and kind of open this up a little bit, make it a little bit wider, because smoothing things out tends to narrow them, and it wasn't intentionally what we were trying to do. We're just trying to get our Vienna sausages looking good, you know. Very important that you get your Vienna sausages looking real good. There we go. Okay. Let's keep moving down the hand. And I want, man, before we should almost like duplicate these fingers so we can use them on the other side, because we can see we got a ball of mush over here. Maybe keep the fingers for another, keep the fingers for another hand. Frankenstein this thing. Uh, Harry Manback, happy Thursday. Forge stays lit and cooking. What's up, man? Hopefully you're doing good. There's two people watching. I don't know if one's AJ and I don't know who else is here, but what's up, man? What's going on? We just been sculpting some fingers, you know? Uh just sculpting some fingers, man. That's all we're doing today. Tedious but necessary work. I'm ready to do other stuff though. It's this project kind of, took way longer than I expected, and it's probably my fault because I've only been putting in like an hour a day into it. But that's like part of what I was talking about the other day is about trying to reintroduce limits, you know, so that I don't burn out and stop. Because that happens a lot is like before I would be like 3, 4, 5 hours of sculpting outside of work hours, on top of your day, and then like you'd get burned out and you wouldn't want to do it for like a week. And so I'm trying to avoid that and get to the point where I'm sculpting every day for a very productive hour. And obviously, like the live streams, like are like I don't know what you'd call it, like a two for one, right? Like killing two birds with one stone. Not only does it keep me honest to myself, um, but it's content, right? I think the content's really good. So we got that. All right. So let's steal our digits here for a future day when we're gonna want those digits to fix that geometry a little bit, make it a little bit cleaner, right? We kind of lost a lot of detail here, so we'll use that on this other side. We'll mirror those and we'll use them. All right, so let's see if we can. I'm gonna start with just these four fingers. And I wonder if, let's see here. Can we kind of start to sculpt in the transition, right? How are our Vienna sausages gonna form into our meat nugget? What are, right? That's really all it is. Just blending our balls of meat together. Alright, let's hide this real quick, and what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna turn all those into one shape, and then I'm going to use a boolean modifier and basically add it to the body. Um, of course, it didn't like something. Fucking pile of shit, bro. Alright, so, what is going on here? Is a manifold issue. Okay, I think I know what's going on. These fingers are, I believe, manifolded right now, and that's creating an issue. Let's see if that's the case. Let's see, are these manifolded? No, they're not manifolded. Why is this being a big pain? Maybe because it's all four fingers at one time, and that's tripping out how the software calculates yeah, it's creating manifolds because these are overlapping. That little intersection right there, that little area under the curves, I guarantee you anything, that is creating a manifold. When I say bullying the body and the finger together, that created a manifold. Almost guarantee freaking to you. It's calculating. It's a lot of math. That was a great coffee. I usually drink coffee black, but I was struggling today. I was like, if I don't get some sugar in me, this stream's not happening, man. Okay, so let's take a kind of a look inside here to make sure. Yeah, that's pretty good. Okay. We don't have a manifold issue in here. Alright, that must have been what the problem was. So we're gonna go through and bullion all the fingers to the body. And then that's our stream for today, you know? Damn, it's just we can never get enough done in one day. It's just impossible. Um, I was really hoping I'd be done with this hand, but hey, maybe it's because we decided to remake the fingers, and that kind of that delayed things a little bit further. God damn, just trying to do things the right way, and delays you. But we are off next week, so I don't know if that means we'll be streaming a lot more, but I do know that means I'm going to try to finish the Otternauts, our MVP, to bring that to Rare Evo and be like, this is what we're going for, this is what we're shooting for. It'll probably take us 18 months to bring to fruition, but this is like this is where we're going, like creating our own products and releasing it to the market in mass, onboarding hundreds of people to our community. And now I have the hiccups. Okay, so that's nice and joined up, and I'm gonna wait on this thumb a little bit because I want to blend all these knuckles in before I blend in the thumb. Ooh, and I kind of like that it still has that. It still has a lot of stuff hidden, so it's actually pretty clean to work with it at that level. So that was pretty good. Let's hide our chucks and our demolished feet. But hey, it's definitely getting places, that's for sure. So that's the awesome part. Let's just work on this a little bit and then we'll wrap up the stream. I know we started a little bit later today, so let's see if we can, just pump out another 15 minutes or so and then we'll call it a night. Okay, so let's see here. We have we got some stuff missing here, so let's see if this brings everything back, which it did, and now let's hide the stuff we don't need again, which is almost everything. Want to just get real close and look at those fingers and bring them in and let's see here. So we can focus just on our hand. Kind of feel like that this needs to be bent a little bit different now that I'm looking at it, but let's just focus on one thing at a time. Let's focus on one thing at a time. I'm gonna use this tool here to kind of add in some geometry so we can start to blend in this edge, and we have a little bit of a problem where our fingers are a little bit lower resolution than the hand, but it'll probably require us to remesh the whole body to kind of make everything equal, as you can see here. But for now, let's just see what we can do here. Yeah, we're um, very limited to what we can do here without creating geometric issues. But let's just turn on dynamic topology. That'll help alleviate some of this issue by adding some geometry where we sculpt, allowing us to improve this transition a little bit. And now I'm just using the smooth tool here and just clicking and not dragging to try to force the dynamic topology to add in some geometry. And hopefully that helps fix. You can clearly see the triangles kind of cascade from smooth to rough. Um, it is what it is at this point, but you know, if we hit it with more geometry, then it'll spring up in resolution, but we're still having a little bit of an issue. But yeah, I mean, I think right now we have to remesh in order to get this easier. Right now we're just like ballooning the resolution. It's not intentional, but that is what's happening. And I think we'll wait until I kind of didn't want to wait, but I was trying to not add more geometry. Well, I was thinking of not adding more geometry until the thumb, or not remeshing the whole body until the thumb was attached, but I don't know if we're gonna, I think we're gonna have to remesh now and then remesh after again. I don't know if I have any other options. If you get what I'm saying, I might have to, I mean, I don't have to, but I really would like to work out like these little, I mean, they don't matter. I keep forgetting that just because I see this doesn't matter, doesn't really make a difference when I 3D print it, you know? I have to get used to telling myself that it doesn't matter, because if not, I'll chase things down to infinity. Yeah, I definitely want to smooth out in there a little bit, but okay. Gotta, just trying to flesh out some of this mass a little bit and trying to make sure that it's not awkward. I think we might have to thicken the arm a little bit to kind of correct some details here. You know, bring this out more a little bit. A little bit of a funky shape. You know, kind of feel like this needs to, without that tool on, just turn that off. Kind of feel like this needs to, yeah. Then I'm not sure why. It's almost like I need to use there's a tool here that does some funky stuff like this, and we can kind of do some cool stuff like that. Ooh, what happened here? Now we're gonna have to just smooth that out, hopefully. But as you can see here, there's it's almost like we need to. We'll play around. We'll play around with that tomorrow. I'll kind of. We can horse around with that tomorrow. Or at the end, and just kind of make those final touches. I don't think it's super critical that we do that right now, and even though I had that coffee, I'm still kind of a little slow. We don't need these fingers anymore, we already added them. So the hand doesn't look bad. The arm, see, it's like something, I mean, it's not impossible to have a hand like that, it just seems a little, I don't know, I don't fucking like it, honestly. His arms kind of coming like that and that. I don't know. Gonna have to probably make some changes to the arm, but maybe I should just focus on finishing the hand, finishing the thumb, getting to this side, getting everything done, and then at the end, make some tweaks if necessary. I'm just thinking like this hand needs to kind of curve that way, like come down, and then it needs to swing in a little bit, correcting this shape so that this is more like this. That's why we need to come like that. And then if the hand's coming down this way, we need to kind of make some adjustments. Something's a little funky there. Something doesn't look right. I don't know what it is, but something doesn't look right. Alright. Well, folks, here's our updated Pharaoh Bee figurine. I think it is starting to look quite nice. I'm happy that I've been spending quite a bit of time getting it just right. I think it makes a big deal, right? I mean, look at that. Would you want that on your collector's area, your office? This dope ass bee. Yeah, it looks pretty cool, guys. I'm pretty happy. I'll definitely make one for myself. Yeah, look at that. Wow. All right, folks, that is just about all the coffee I made. Just about all the energy I have left today. Just try to hold it together and just, hold in on this one and get it done. I was almost contemplating going to sleep, but then I said, no, I can't do that. I can't do that. I got commitments. I got to stream. All right, folks. Um, don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment. It helps out a lot. Watch our shorts. Share them with your friends. And yeah, I'll catch you guys tomorrow. And we'll do it all over again. All right. Ciao.